let me. So, yeah.
Okay. Translation. When will I attain the dark treasure known as Lord Krishna? When agitated with ecstatic love, will I give my heart to Lord Krishna? When will I consider Lord Krishna more dear to me than my own life's breath? When will I be able to see Lord Krishna's moon-like face? When will I regain my master's association? When will I happily return with singing and dancing to the shore of Yamuna? O friend, when will this auspicious day be mine? When in the company of Lalita and Vishakha will I meet Lord Krishna? When will I be able to offer various gifts to please him? When will destiny be compassionate to me? When will my destiny become like a virtuous person who is an ocean of good qualities? When will this good fortune be mine? Cruel fate has made me poverty stricken, and I do not have even a penny to purchase the goods sold in the marketplace of pure love for Krishna. Nevertheless, Narottam Das says, my life's hope is to renounce everything and attain the Prince of Raj. Mm. So he is saying that he doesn't even have a penny to purchase Krishna Prem. I think there's a song, right? Narottam Das Thakur has opened, Nityananda Prabhu has opened a marketplace and he's selling um, Nama right? And you can purchase that by your faith, right? What what, what song is that?
Can you say that
Um,
again? Which one? Can you say that?
Nityananda Prabhu has opened a marketplace and he's selling.
Moro Shukher Khabu.
Mhm. So he needs faith. By your faith, he's giving you Krishna Prem, right? So yeah, that's Narottam Das Thakur saying he doesn't even have a penny means to get pure love for Krishna. Like he's so poverty stricken in the sense that he does not have any sukriti or any good qualities or anything. And he's hankering to be with Lord Krishna, who is the greatest treasure. He wants to give his heart to Krishna, who is his life's breath, more dear to him than his life's breath. In the company of Lalita and Vishakha, and he wants to offer all his gifts to Krishna. So yesterday we were discussing Yat Karoshi Yad Ashnasi Yad Juhusi Dadasi Yat. Krishna says, whatever you do, you should do it for me. So, I mean, even if you're trying to do something for someone, right, we should do it because they are Krishna's part and parcel. So keeping Krishna in the center. You should do everything for Krishna. And then you would not have, that concept that, oh, I did so much for this person and he's so ungrateful, right? Because we would do everything for Krishna. Mm. Anything you would like to add, bro?
No, he is hankering, yeah. Longing for that day. When will that day be mine? So it's our kind of Vipralamba Bhav, where he's saying, okay, when will I be again in association of Lord Krishna? So hankering is good. Material hankering is bad. Spiritual hankering is good. So, but you only hanker when you for Krishna. Normally we hanker for talking about myself. Normally hanker for things of this world. When will I get this? Will I get that? When I will get my car? When I will get something, some object of this world, some person like that. But he's hankering to be in association of Krishna. So it is our hankering which will take us. So when do you hanker to be with somebody? When you feel very happy, you think that that will give me a lot of joy and a lot of happiness in their association. That's when you hanker to be in the association of that person. So he's thinking with Lalita and Vishakha, I will be in the company of Lalita and Vishakha, I will meet Lord Krishna. Of course, he's Champak Manjari, right? No,
Yeah.
Champak Manjari. So other song also is his Lalita Vishakha Adi Jata Sakhi Vrinda Agyaya Kuribo Sheva Charanaruvinda Radha Krishna Prabhu. So it's all his hankering to be with Lord Krishna. Okay, so
So
and
yesterday, Raj Bhakti Mataji was saying that how the hippies got attracted to Srila Prabhupada, right? His one quality was that they were clear that Prabhupada would not cheat them,
mm,
and he was unconditional, as we were discussing, right? Giving his compassion to all of them, wanting nothing in return. So if we realize that that's what Krishna is, right? He unconditionally loves us, and he will never cheat us because in a conditioned soul, we were discussing yesterday, there are um,
defects.
four defects. One of them is a cheating propensity because really everybody is thinking about their own enjoyment. They're not unconditional, but Krishna is unconditional.
Yeah, so that quality will attract us. Knowing that quality in Krishna. That's what attracted Sukdev Goswami also. How compassionate Krishna is that he gave mercy to even Putana who came to harm him. So in this world, everybody has a vested interest because it's the world of sense gratification. It's Maya's kingdom. So as long as the sense gratification is going nice, then there is so-called love and everything, and then something happens, then it's it, it disintegrates. So, but Krishna will love no matter what we do. Of course, if we offend Vaishnavas, he will. But still, he loves us. He wants to correct us, so he will give some punishment to correct us. So that is also his mercy. So there is nobody who loves us unconditionally like Krishna, and even if we ignore Krishna, still he is also always ready to accept us. In this world, if I ignore you, then after some time you'll say, okay, so be it. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. So, so like that. But Krishna is, and this is also another thing I was thinking in this song is, it is that reminded of the prayer of Rupa Goswami to Gopi Jan Vallabh, right? In his own, this is all humility. They have such humility. They think they have no love for Krishna. Um, I am so fallen. So like Gopi Jan Vallabh, that prayer is there where Rupa Goswami says, I have no love for Krishna and I have no taste for the causes for those things that will give me love of Krishna, like chanting and hearing. And my mind is not very steady. I cannot fix my mind on Krishna. And I am not born in a good family, like that he says. I'm not very, I'm very sinful also. They consider themselves very sinful because they were engaged in the service of Nawab Hussain Shah, that Mughal, that Muslim person. So they were thinking, yeah, we are so fallen, we have accepted his service. Of course, they were forced into serving him. because that Nawab said, if you don't serve, I will, I will torture the Hindus, because he saw that they were very qualified, and that's why. But they were forced to serve. But they thought, oh, it's our bad situation that we have taken up his service. So, and then he says that I somehow want to approach you, but I cannot. I'm so unqualified, but that is giving me like pain. But I have some hopes that, but you are quite merciful. So one day you will show your mercy to me. Like that prayer is there. So devotee never thinks he's very qualified, and he has a lot of love for Krishna, and like that. As one makes spiritual advancement, he feels I have no love. Premera swabhav. What is that verse? Premera swabhav.
मेरा स्वभाव यहाँ प्रेमेरा संबंध से माने कृष्ण मोरे नाही प्रेम गंध. The devotee thinks he doesn't even have a drop of love for Krishna. He doesn't think he's a devotee.
Okay, so. And then he says, my life's hope is to renounce everything and attain the Prince of Raj. I want to give up everything. Like Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. I want to give up everything for Krishna. Means all desires for sense gratification. I mean, playing the part of a conditioned soul is saying, I want to give up all desires for sense gratification to attain Krishna. Yesterday we were talking how for our material life we give up so many things. Like we sacrifice so much. Then we want to attain Krishna. Then we will not do any great endeavor. We will not sacrifice anything. To attain things of this world, we are sacrificing so much. Like to get a degree or something, so much. So many exams, so many things. So many classes you have to go. So, Prabhupada says, yeah, you have to be very serious about if you want to attain Krishna, then you have to become very serious about attaining Him and give up all the things that are unfavorable. So, like if life's aim is to go back home, back to Godhead, then it should be achieved by all means, whatever it takes. Because that is the goal, you have decided, that's the goal. So, I will do my best and of course, leave the rest to Krishna. But I will do my very best. So, okay, so these are some, you want to say anything, any pastime or anything?
Yeah, yesterday we were reading from Bhagavatamrita, what happened when Akrura came. You want to open the document and we can read?
Yeah.
Some section.
Sure.
Or I can share my screen also.
Okay.
So yesterday we read that Krishna mounted the chariot, but then gopis came and took Krishna by hand, and Krishna went to the forest grove with the gopis, and Akrura was surprised, where has Krishna gone? So Akrura came and with Balram, and he told Balram that your parents Vasudev and Devaki, they are suffering so much in the jail, and so are the Yadavas and the demigods, all terrified by Kansa. So we should have Krishna come to Mathura to save them. So Akrura came, and Krishna was with the gopis, and Krishna is trying to plead to Akrura is trying to plead to Krishna that all your parents are suffering so much. So it's trying to melt his heart by telling all the sufferings that they're going through, and then Krishna still doesn't come. So then Akrura falls at the feet of the gopis and say that, gopis, please don't be the cause of Vasudeva and Devaki's death. So he was pleading to the gopis, and hearing all of this, Krishna became sad and also angry at Kansa. So he he returns to the chariot. So that's where we are.
Sakura is giving reasons why he should return to.
Yeah, and Krishna is in the mix because he on one side is mother and father, and on the other side are the gopis who are also distressed of Krishna leaving. So can feel what Krishna is going through.
Hmm. So he's caught between two things. Yeah. Very difficult for Krishna. Okay, this is Bhagavatamrita. Which volume?
Volume 3.
Volume 3. Okay, yeah, it's here. And text number is
You can start with verse 285.
285.
That's on page 558. Yeah, 285 you can. 558 page at the top you can.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yes.
Okay. So start from here. You want to read or I should read?
You can read.
Kans, the subduer of demigods, always brags about the strength of his own arms. He has no regard for anyone. He is constantly worshipped by demons like himself, some impotent, some very powerful, and by the rulers of men.
So
So,
this is Akrura telling Krishna about Kansa.
okay. So Kans is a demon, so he thinks he's there is nobody better than him, and he's bragging about himself. When Krishna fails to respond, Akrura tries to change Krishna's mood from compassion to anger. So Krishna is with the gopis, right? And then
Yeah.
okay. In the beginning of Akrura's statement, he refers to Kans merely as he, Saha, in other words, so numerous as he or he. In other words, so numerous and abominable, yeah, he refers to Kansa's bad qualities that his name is not to be mentioned. His many demon friends in Mathura help increase his influence, and they share his arrogance and other bad qualities. Powerful demonic rulers of other kingdoms like Bana and Bhoma also support him. Okay, so he's talking about how the atrocities of and his powerful friends and so. Sri Sarupa said, Akrura, having said this, took blades of grass between his teeth and cried plaintively again and again. Then that person named Uncruel, that's Akrura, who had a most brutal duty to perform, offered his obeisances to all the women of Raj one by one. So Akrura is very humbly begging. When you take a piece of grass between your teeth, means you're lower than the animals who eat grass. You're like an animal because animals eat grass, so you're taking. There are many significance of right taking the blade of grass between your teeth, but I'm like a blade of grass, something like that. So Dante Trina Kori, there is a song like that. Nityanand Prabhu goes door to door, taking between his teeth a straw of grass and begging the conditioned souls to chant Hare Krishna. So he's pleading. When you plead, you are very like begging, please, please, please. Desperately he was. And then he also knows that he's actually offending the gopis. Because the gopis want, so he's asking for their forgiveness, kind of, by offering obeisances. When Krishna still didn't come out of the grove, Akrura, knowing Krishna to be controlled by his dearest devotees, appealed to the gopis. So he's in the grove, Krishna is, and is Akrura saying from far, right? He's talking about what, and then Krishna is in.
Yeah, Akrura has come with Balram and he's staying at a distance and talking to Krishna. Yeah.
Krishna is in the midst of the gopis in grove. He approached them with all the humility he would muster. So if you want to attract Krishna, you have to all the humility with. This wasn't easy because despite Akrura's name, taking Krishna to Mathura was the cruelest thing anyone could do to them.
So, yeah, I mean, that was a very difficult duty Akrura had to perform, right?
Correct.
And he understood that he'll be misunderstood, like same as Bhishma, right? He was on the side of the Kauravas, and he knew that he would be misunderstood, but he was doing everything according to the desire of Krishna. So Krishna wants, it's the time to go back to Mathura. So
Like,
that's what the pure devotees do. They don't care what others would think of them, right? They do what Krishna desires.
correct. They, yeah. So of course here the gopis are getting offended, but yeah, it was Krishna's plan. I mean, Narad Muni came and said that you have spent 10 years in Vraj. Now it's time for you to accomplish your mission of paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, and you have to come out. So it's all Krishna's arrangement, only that Akrura is coming to take Krishna. It's his devotional service, very difficult devotional service, because he has to displease the gopis. But this is devotional service to take Krishna out. Okay. Like Yashoda had also very difficult devotional service. She had to leave Krishna behind, so to take care of the milk. So, but that is also for Krishna's pleasure only. So Shriman Akrura said, "Don't be death for the descendants of the Yadu dynasty." And if Akrura didn't come, then how would Gopis Vipralamba Bhav increase also? So how Krishna also does that to increase the love of his devotees. So Shriman Akrura said, "Don't be death for the descendants of the Yadu dynasty and for all people of the world. Please have mercy on them." Because Kans is very cruel, that's why don't be death by not coming also. And for all the people of the world, people, please have mercy on them. So they are also pining in separation from Krishna. Their hearts are. So don't become death for them. Dear goddesses, Krishna's wretched parents are imprisoned by Kans. Please help rescue them. So he's appealing to the gopis. Dear goddesses, he's saying. Krishna's parents, they are wretched means, I think wretched is bad, but they are not bad, but in the sense that they are tortured by Kans and they are imprisoned by Kans. Please help rescue them. So he is appealing to the gopis and, please be compassionate upon the parents of Krishna. Everyone was afraid of Kans, including the cowherds of Vraj. Were Krishna not to come soon to Mathura, the lives of many innocent persons would be at risk. And the first to be killed might well be Vasudeva and Devaki. Therefore, the gopis should be merciful by consenting to Krishna's departure and giving their blessings for an auspicious journey. So if Krishna did not go, then maybe Kans would become angry and he would kill Vasudeva, Devaki and all others in Mathura. So they're saying Akrura is pleading with the gopis. The divine gopis said, "You great cheat, you speaker of falsehoods." The gopis are not touched by Akrura's arguments. And you great cheat, you speaker of falsehoods, you follower of Kans. How can those you speak of be Krishna's parents? Because they don't know Vasudeva and Devaki are Krishna's parents. They are saying, you are saying all wrong things. How can they be? We have seen here, Krishna has been born here in Vrindavan to Nanda and Yashoda. These two boys are the sons of Nanda and Yashoda. Don't murder Gokul. Don't become a killer of women. Why do the gopis call the son of Shvafalka Muni a great cheat and liar? So that is Akrura. He is the son of Shvafalka Muni. Because he is a follower of Kans. Because he has come on order of Kans. So they think he is like Kansa's man. The Gopi statement that Vasudeva and Devaki cannot be Krishna's parent is correct in the sense that Vasudeva and Devaki are really his unalloyed devotees acting as his parents, roles they accept only for his service. I don't know if they really knew or they looks like they didn't know.
Well, there's also Krishna was born of Yashoda and Nanda
Yeah,
Maharaj.
correct, correct.
And in the first verse of Gopi Gita, they say, Jayati te dikam janmana vraja. You were born in Vraj, which is true. It's a true statement. Krishna was born of Yashoda and Nanda
Yeah,
Maharaj.
but they didn't know about that Vasudeva had come and brought Krishna and
So then in Srimad Bhagavatam, when I was reading this section, um, when Krura comes, Krishna and Balram ask him, how are our parents? So in front of, others also. Maybe others were present. So, but Krishna understands that they are my parents.
yeah, because he's saying that you're falsely speaking that how. Yeah, of course, because they saw Krishna being born in Nanda and Yashoda's home, and yeah, according to Harivansha, it is described that Krishna was born simultaneously two places by telling Akrura not to kill the people of Gokul and especially not to become a killer of women. The gopis mean to say that his immediate concern should not be over Vasudeva and Devaki. The threat of their being killed lies in the future, and enough time remains for measures to prevent such a tragedy. The threat, however, that Akrura will become the direct cause of the deaths of the inhabitants of Gokul, including the cows and women, is imminent. Akrura should therefore think twice before committing these terrible sins. So it is a possibility that Kans may kill Vasudeva and Devaki in future, but they are not killed. But right now, if you take Krishna, then we will immediately be killed. So that's something like that. They are saying, okay. Shri Sarupa said, when Krishna heard of wicked Kansa's deeds, when he heard of the misery he himself had caused his own relatives, and when he saw that Balram agreed with Akrura, he apologized to the gopis, and showing anger and sadness, he left the grove. So Krishna got convinced. Gopis were not convinced, but Krishna got convinced, and Balram was also in agreement with Akrura, so his elder brother. So he has now, Krishna has some supporter. The anger Krishna felt was directed solely at Kans, and the sorrow he felt was for his faultless devotees. He interpreted his elder brother's silence as a sign that Lord Balram accepted Akrura's proposal to take them to Madhupuri, which is Mathura's other name, Madhupuri. Balram didn't say anything, so he thought, yes, Balram is agreeing. Akrura was overjoyed because Krishna came out of the grove after apologizing to the gopis. So Akrura was very happy. So Akrura's happiness is Gopi's sorrow. Akrura was overjoyed. With Balram's permission, he quickly left the grove and ran to bring the chariot. When the gopis understood that Krishna was about to leave for the city, they fixed their eyes on his lotus face. In dread of the imminent fire of separation, they cried and spoke to Krishna, falling at his lotus feet. So this is their crying, pleading for Krishna to stay. For the gopis to address Krishna so boldly in public might have appeared audacious, means bold. Audacious, yeah. But they were not, they were afraid of burning up in the fire of separation. So normally they were shy and they would not say like this in public, appealing to Krishna. But they were thinking, what is the outcome if Krishna leaves? That's going to be very, very difficult if Krishna leaves. So they forgot all their shyness and everything. Because what is coming up is is going to be very difficult for them. And besides the gopis, yeah, the picture. Here is the picture. So all the gopis are there, Akrura is there, and Krishna and Balama, chariot. Okay. They are saying to Krishna, we'll see what they say. For the gopis to address Krishna so boldly in public might have appeared audacious, but they were afraid of burning up in the fire of separation. The fire of losing Krishna was so intense that they forgot everything. And besides, the gopis are not the only devotees who sometimes frankly express their agony to Krishna in the presence of others. So others also express their, not only gopis, but the others also express sorrow to Krishna. For example, in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:23-29, we hear from the wives of the Vedic Brahmanas. O Almighty One, please do not speak such cruel words. Rather, you should fulfill your promise that you always reciprocate with your devotees in kind. I think when they see Krishna and they go to meet him in the forest, now that we have attained your lotus feet, we simply wish to remain here in the forest. So we may carry upon our heads the garlands of tulsi leaves that fall from your lotus feet. Yesterday it was nice, Krishna was having tulsi garland on Ekadashi. Radha Natabar, we are ready to give up all material relationships. So they didn't want to go back to their husbands. They wanted to just remain in the forest. And so that they could get the tulsi from Krishna's lotus feet on their head. So they are also praying, the Vedic wives of the Vedic Brahmanas. Okay. The divine gopis said, O Master, we cannot, anybody has any comments, then we can share. The divine gopis said, O Master, we cannot live even a moment without you. We have no shelter, no other shelter. Do not abandon us, your maidservants. O Lord, take us with you wherever you go. We'll also come to Mathura. If you are going, don't leave us behind. Please let us also go with you. For the sake of you, the forests have become our homes. Because Krishna goes to the forest. And our homes, forests. Yeah, home is where you feel comfortable. So they said, you are in the forest, so being with you, even in being in the forest, it is like very pleasant. And in being in our home, separated from you, it's like a forest. It's difficult. Our enemies, our friends, and our enemies, our friends, and our friends' enemies. Poison, sweet nectar, and nectar poison. Without you, we will die. So with you, Krishna, everything is very pleasant. Even though it may be difficult, but just being with you. If you are there, then we will feel always very happy, no matter where we are.
Yeah, the same thing Sita Devi told Ram when he was leaving for the forest, and she said that without you, this Ayodhya will be forest for me, and wherever you go, that would be Ayodhya.
Nice. Okay, so the devotee also, the pure devotees, they always want to be with Krishna. So wherever Krishna is, that's where they want to be. Or wherever the pure devotees are talking about Krishna. and there is opportunity to engage in Krishna. So they don't want to go to any place where they cannot hear about Krishna from the pure devotees, where they cannot serve Krishna. So even a moment's separation cannot be tolerated. The gopis are sure that if Krishna refuses to accept their prayer, they will very soon die. Krishna says, no, I will go anyway and you stay behind. Then they are going to die. After all, didn't Krishna turn their lives upside down? Everything was nice, going nice. Till Akrura came. Suddenly one day Akrura came. And then the whole life of gopis was turned upside down. Like in this material world also, our lives are turned upside down. Suddenly something happens, forest fire, Prabhupada says. And suddenly like you find you have disease or something like that, or you lost all the money and all, everything. It's like lives turned upside down. The forests were their homes. Like I remember my neighbors back in India, when their child was born, they were very happy, but their joy was short-lived because they found out that this girl is actually a diabetic from birth and she has to take insulin right from her birth. So they were completely devastated. So their life was going nice till they had the child and the child had this defect. Everything was going nice. Yesterday also we heard about this girl, 9-year-old, who had brain cancer. Of course, she's a devotee. But for their parents, maybe 1 year back, everything was going nice and the child was very happy and everything. And then after 1 year, they found out. So this is how in material world also things turn upside down very suddenly. But this is actually for Krishna. They are feeling their lives have turned upside down because they are not getting Krishna. Krishna is going to leave them. The forests were their homes because in the forest they enjoyed Krishna's company. And their homes were like an empty wilderness because Krishna wasn't there. As Mahaprabhu says, I feel everything void in this world. There is nothing that interests me. This is also happens at the time of somebody who's very near and dear one dies. Smashan Vairagya, we say. Then everything appears to be like void. There is no interest in anything yet for some time. It's a material thing because it's material attachment. Or it can be spiritual for the pure, if the person is a pure devotee and like that. Like Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they felt like a big void after Prabhupada's departure. So so nothing was making any sense to them. And their homes were like an empty wilderness because Krishna wasn't there. The rivals for Krishna's affection were actually friends. Because with the help of those friends, they were able to meet Krishna. Not sure what this means. The rivals for Krishna's affection were actually friends. Because with the help of those friends, they were able to meet Krishna. And by preventing the gopis from going to Krishna, their husbands and children acted as enemies.
Rivals like the competitor gopis.
But they were, but Krishna was away from them, right?
I mean, it was all rasa, right? Krishna would go to one camp and not the other and then build up a drama.
Okay. So you were saying Chandravali actually helps Radharani.
Yeah. The pastime happens.
Okay. I was thinking the other way that actually, they are taking Krishna away from Radharani because Krishna is not with Radharani. But maybe that's separation. In separation, she feels like.
Krishna purposely goes to Chandravali's camp to heighten the leftist mode of Radharani, get her into Salki, Man mood, and then the pastime happens. Krishna becomes a beggar.
And then
so many things.
Okay. And by preventing the gopis from going to Krishna, their husbands and children acted as enemies. Or you could say Subal also. He was also Krishna's affection, but there he actually helped Gopashtami. We say that he helped, but there was not a rival. He's in Sakhya Ras, and yeah. In fact, the gopis' love for Krishna was so potent that it even transformed poisonous substances into the most palatable nectar. And for gopis eager to die in the torment of separation, poison became attractive. Nectarian things like moonlight, sandalwood paste, nice food were like poison for the gopis because the gratification afforded by such things impeded their association with Krishna. And when they were suffering separation from him, their so called pleasures became unbearable.
So, when you're separated from someone, then anything that reminds you of your beloved gives you a lot of suffering. Like in the moonlight, they would remember, Ras Leela took place on the moonlight, under the moon, and sandalwood paste, and everything would remind them of Krishna, and they would cry bitterly then. So, nectarian things become poisonous.
Because the gratification afforded by such things impeded their association with Krishna. How did they impede? Nectarian things like moonlight, sandalwood paste, and nice food were like poison for the gopis because the gratification afforded by such things impeded their association with Krishna. And when they were
And
suffering,
when Krishna was there, all these things were nectarian, right? But without Krishna, all these things seem poison because they understand that they are not with Krishna, or wish Krishna was here to enjoy all these things with me. But since Krishna is not there, all these enjoyable things are poison to me.
okay, and when they were suffering separation from him, their so-called pleasures became unbearable. So moonlight was pleasing, but if Krishna was there, nice food was pleasing if Krishna was there. But if Krishna was not there, then the same thing. Either it reminded them of Krishna, like they say in Gopi Geet, yeah, all these places where we go, we reminds us, oh, we met Krishna here, we met here, we went there with Krishna. So all the places in Vrindavan, they remind them of Krishna. And now Krishna is not there, it's causing them suffering. And or without Krishna, all these things are of they're not giving pleasure. Sri Narada has already explained to Gop Kumar why pure love for Krishna affected the gopis in these strange ways. So with Krishna everything is nice, without Krishna everything is like death. How could we not die a slow death if we could no longer see anywhere your beautiful smiling face, your all attractive lotus feet, and your chest adorned by all splendor? So we'll die a slow death if we don't see you, your beautiful smiling face, your feet, your chest. When Krishna was getting ready to leave for Mathura, he suggested to the gopis, I am going to Mathura to satisfy my well-wishers there, who have no goal in life but me. Until I return, you can keep yourselves happy by hearing, chanting, and remembering my glories. This is the gopis' answer. Although Krishna didn't say like that yet, but I think it's some commentary. So gopis' answer, if for
In the Ras Leela, he said you should go back to your homes and you should worship my deity form. Hear about the same thing he said to the wives of the Brahmanas.
it is not by my association that you will get me, but by hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. same kind of verse, right? Again, he says twice. Is it the same verse or is it maybe different verse?
Same, exact same verse,
Same verse.
like twice. Let me paste it. It is by hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me, and chanting my names and glories that love for me develops, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes.
Yeah, so again he's saying like that when he's leaving to Mathura. This is the gopis' answer. If for any length of time the gopis cannot see Krishna's face anywhere, Kutopi, Kutopi, either in his home or in the forest, they will surely die. So Krishna is saying you can keep yourselves happy by hearing and chanting. But gopis are saying no, if we don't see you, then we are going to die. We are not going to remain happy. We are going to die. Krishna might also try to excuse himself by saying that if because of him his friends in Mathura remain unhappy, his reputation will be ruined. So Krishna may say, well, if I don't go, he's telling gopis that if I don't go, then how they are also seeking me, and if I don't go there, then I'm not I'm my reputation will be spoiled. But with Kutopi construed as for whatever reason, the gopis would respond, we do not care what reason you have. If you leave us, we will die a slow death. Yeah, you may go there for your reputation, but the fact is that if you leave us, we will die very slowly, painfully, in separation of you. When you go off to the Vrindavan forest with your friends, eager to enjoy your cowherd pastimes, we manage to pass our days only with difficulty by holding on to the hope that in the evening she will certainly return. So even few hours is so. Now he's going for many days to Mathura. So just like we saw that how gopis were. It's every day like Krishna going to the forest and Yashoda and all the gopis are there. But there is some hope that at least in the evening he will come. Only for at best few hours. Only for at best a few hours can the gopis tolerate the pain they feel from Krishna's absence. If ever an evening were to pass without his coming home from the forest, their lives would be finished. So if Krishna did not return, then. But if you go so far away, because it's farther than the forest, right? Mathura is farther than the forest. If you go so far away on the order of Vigat Kans to the city and the company of his friends, how shall we be able to live? Thinking of the pain you will suffer away from home and of what might happen to you, will be distraught with all sorts of worries. So they are also thinking Krishna is going to suffer there, and what will happen there in Mathura to you will be. They are also worried about like that. Krishna's feet are so soft and thorns and will prick Krishna's lotus feet. So they are worried about Krishna, that how much he will suffer away from home. And knowing that Krishna will suffer, we will also be filled with all sorts of anxieties. Krishna might assert that in the big city, he'll be able to take care of himself with the same power he showed when he subdued Kaliya, but still is bound to feel homesick. The gopis cannot bear to think of Krishna suffering in any way. So it is for Krishna's pleasure. They are thinking Krishna is not going to feel happy in Mathura. And that's why they are feeling distress. We may think, yeah, they want personally that maybe they are also saying we will be distraught without you. But they are also saying now that in Mathura you will be homesick, and seeing that you will be sad, we cannot think. Okay, so next verse. We cannot imagine how much trouble you will have to endure to kill Kans and his followers. So Kans is so powerful, his demon, and how much you will have to go through to kill him, nor how long will it take to wipe out the misery of the people of Mathura. Nor can we be sure you will remember us. So many thoughts are crossing. You will forget us. If you go to Mathura, you will forget us. You will have to go through so much trouble to kill Kans. And how long they are in separation from you in Mathura, but how long will it take for you to console them? We don't know when you will come back. So Krishna might argue that because his dear cows, so this is the what gopis are thinking, and then this commentary is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur must be there because he makes all these comments. And Krishna may say, well, if this is what gopis are saying, then what will Krishna say? Krishna might argue that because his dear cows, his young friends, and his father will accompany him to Mathura, he will not become too homesick. The gopis are saying you may become homesick, but Krishna is saying, no, no, Nanda Maharaj is coming with me, my coward friends are coming, so you will not be so homesick. So here the gopis give other reasons for their distress. Considering that to kill Kans and many other demons would be mere play for Krishna, the desires of all his devotees in Mathura will take a long time to satisfy. And if Krishna were to insist that because of remembering his dear girlfriends, he could not stay away very long, the gopis would answer, no, we are not so confident that he will even remember us. So Krishna may say, no, it will not take long time to satisfy them in Mathura. No, he says, and if Krishna were to insist that because of remembering his dear girl, he could not stay away very long, the gopis would answer, no, we are not so confident, you will even remember us. Okay, they are thinking Krishna will forget. Sri Sarupa said, thus the gopis uttered many pitiful laments, which made all who were present cry till their minds were lost. So in this way, gopis were pleading to Krishna and everybody was crying. All living beings reacted in this way to the gopis' complaints. The Supreme Lord somehow steadied himself, wiping the tears from his own eyes and from the eyes of the gopis. He spoke with a voice choked with feeling. He is consoling the gopis, wiping it. Yeah.
I mean, I was just wondering, past time continues. If you would like to read Bhagavatam, and we can continue tomorrow.
Okay.
What Krishna replies back to the gopis.
Okay. It's nice, this Bhagavad. It's very intense feelings of the gopis. Okay, so we are 329.14. Saiva Bhakti Yogakhya Atyantika Udaritaha Yena Tivrajya Trigunam Madbhavayo Upadyate. By attaining the highest platform of devotional service, as I have explained, one can overcome the influence of the three modes of material nature and be situated in the transcendental stage as is the Lord. So we'll get out of the mode of passion and ignorance. By engaging in Krishna's service, we'll become like him, Achyuta, who never comes under the influence of the modes of nature. Tada rajastamo bhava kama lobhadayasche chete ete ranaviddam stitam sattve prasidati. So it comes to goodness and then above goodness, Shuddha Sattva. And one becomes very, very happy, evam prasanna manaso. So all these mode of passion, actually, we are thinking it's going to give me happiness, but it actually gives rajasastu phalam dukkham. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the mode of passion, yesterday also we were discussing Vishayandre Sanyoga, Yat Taddagre Amritopamam, Pariname Vishameva, Tat Sukham Rajasam Smritam, Yehi Sansparshaja Bhoga Dukkha Yona Evate. So we are thinking, so when we think that Krishna consciousness will give me more happiness than sense gratification, that's the real, then we are situated nicely in our consciousness. Otherwise, if you think that sense gratification will give me more happiness, it gives some happiness because it is instantaneous. But that kind of instantaneous happiness is actually the enemy of the conditioned soul because it prevents you. You become addicted to that happiness, and it prevents you from getting the happiness of serving Krishna and like that. That's why Krishna says this is the greatest enemy. The desire to enjoy material happiness is the greatest enemy of the conditioned soul. Why? Because it does not give him pleasure. Eventually, it will give distress, and it keeps us bereft from attaining the higher happiness of Krishna consciousness. That's why it is. So we have all conditioned. We are conditioned in thinking that, oh, that's the obstacle. To think that this will give me more happiness than serving Krishna. Gratifying my senses will give me more happiness than serving Krishna. So that's the conditioning that we all have in this material existence. But experiencing the happiness of bhakti, then we can rise above the modes of nature. Rasovarjam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. That's why Prabhupada says, what is the test of spiritual advancement? The test is that you are experiencing spiritual happiness. And the test that you are experiencing spiritual happiness is that you have become detached from sense gratification. That's the test. Means you are really, really experiencing spiritual happiness at a deeper level. Not just superficially, but at a deeper level you are experiencing the great happiness. Sripad Shankaracharya, who is supposed to be, and if we don't feel happy, that's okay. But we should know, in the Bhagavatam it is described, right, in the 11th canto, that having awakened faith in the narration of my glories and being disgusted with all material activities, knowing that all sense gratification leads to misery, but still not able to renounce all enjoyment, my devotee should worship me with great faith and conviction. And he may be engaged in sense enjoyment occasionally, very occasionally, but he knows that all sense gratification leads to a miserable result. And he repents also such activities. He regrets such activities of sense gratification. And one should be happy in that way and keep serving Krishna. It is also confirmed in the Vedic literature. Okay, Sripad Shankaracharya, who is supposed to be the leader, has admitted in the beginning of his comment that Narayan is beyond Narayano Paro Vyaktat, is beyond this material manifestation. Even this Prabhupada says, Shankaracharya has said this. Except for him, everything is within the material creation. It is also confirmed in the Vedic literature that before the creation, there was only Narayan. So, Aham eva sham eva agre. That verse is there, right? That I was, before the creation, I was present, and after the creation. So, before the creation, there was only Narayan. Of course, then we say, how does that tally with na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva pavita ajo nitya sashvatayam purano na hanyate hanyamani sharire. That the soul is everlasting, always present. Yeah, that's there. It's inconceivable. But Krishna is the source. But like the sunshine is automatically present as the sun is there. As soon as the sun is there, the sunshine is there. So sun came first, then came sunshine. Right? Without sun, there will be no sunshine. But they are simultaneously present. So in that way, we can understand. But the sun is the source of the sunshine. Only Narayan, or the Supreme Personality of God, Vishnu or Krishna, is always in the transcendental position, beyond the influence of material creation. And Prabhupada also said, when you talk of a king, it means king. You can't say that this person is a king if he has no ministers, if he has no army, like that. So similarly, as soon as we say Krishna, God, God means God and his energies. They are simultaneously present. Because otherwise, Krishna minus his energies is not God. But Krishna with his energies, like, because it's inherent part of him. So otherwise, how can you say that he's God? So when you say Krishna, means all his energies are also there. Only Narayan, or the Supreme Personality of God, Vishnu or Krishna, is always in the transcendental position, beyond the influence of material creation. So everybody is affected by these modes of nature. Only the pure devotee who has taken full shelter of Krishna is unaffected. So we have to seek the association of such pure devotees who are. The material qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance cannot affect the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is called Nirguna, free from all tinges of material qualities. We know how the mode of ignorance, passion, mainly this is the two things that affect us in the material world. Goodness, very few people, but they also become attached. They are affected by the mode of goodness. So they become attached to this material world for enjoyment. In a nice way, in a pious way. But that is also bad because you are still in the prison. He is called Nirguna, free from all tinges of material qualities. Here, so although Krishna is hankering to be with the gopis, it is not the mode of passion. So like here in this world, it's a reflection. And it's the mode of passion because Krishna's dealing with the gopis is not under the purview of the modes of material nature. It's not the mode of passion. Here the same fact is confirmed by Lord Kapila. Although it looks like that, but it is not that. Here the same, like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, it's like iron and gold. Both are metals and you can classify them. Yeah, this is metal, but it's different. Here the same fact is confirmed by Lord Kapila. One who is situated in pure devotional service is transcendently situated, as is the Lord. Just as the Lord is unaffected by the influence of the material mode, so too are his pure devotees. One who is not affected by the three modes of material nature is called a liberated soul or Brahma Bhuta soul. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma is the stage of liberation. And is very joyful because he is not affected by the mode of passion and all this. So he is very, very happy because he is in a liberated state. He is out of the bodily concept consciousness. He is on the spiritual platform. Such a person has no hankering, no lamentation. He is very joyful in serving Krishna. Like that. And he is not lamenting for any material things like that. I didn't get this, I didn't get that. Like that. It's not. Because he knows I don't have anything. Everything belongs to Krishna, nothing belongs to me. So, I came with nothing, I'm going with nothing. So, he loses any money also, he doesn't feel. Because this is all like a dream. In the dream, you lose anything. Of course, you may say this is like a jnani kind of philosophy. Of course, devotees have emotions and they cry also. Then why do they cry? But they have emotions, but they are emotions towards pure devotees. So that's why they cry, like Narottam Das Thakur is Jnani Lo Prematana Karuna Prachur. But they are not crying because they have lost some person because of the desire for sense gratification or something like that. So, so pure devotees, yeah, they give guidance. So we are bereft of the guidance. Of course, the guidance is in the form of Vani. So, Aham Brahmasmi, I am not this body. Prabhupada said, like yesterday, I said that it's a different conception. Spiritual life means you are thinking you are not the body. You are not the defect of modern civilization. Is a defect of modern civilization. We are on different platform. As soon as you come to this realization, I am not this body, all the priorities in life should change. Of course, theoretical understanding is there, but when there is actual realization, you see the bigger picture. You see the bigger picture, how you are transmigrating from one body to the next. And You say this life is just a small chapter. Why should I hanker for these things? It's going to pass. This is going to pass. So let me engage in my eternal service, eternal activities of the soul. So when you see the bigger picture, in the bodily conception of life, you just narrow-minded. You don't see anything. So you don't even know who you are and nothing. And you are in this dream. You're identifying with this body and you're in this dream that I am this body. And because you see yourself as the body, you see everybody else also as their body. And because you see according to your own consciousness. But because pure devotee is in spiritual consciousness and he sees himself as a spirit soul, he sees everybody else also as spirit souls. So, so that how we can come to the spiritual consciousness. By serving Krishna only, by removing the anarthas only, we can come to the spiritual consciousness. Service to Krishna for his pleasure, service done in the right consciousness will elevate our consciousness and we'll get out of this bodily conception of life. I am not this body. This is applicable only to the person who constantly engages in the devotional service of Krishna and is thus in the transcendental stage. He is above the influence of the three modes of material nature. It is the misconception of the impersonalists. Mam cha yogvyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sargunan samatite tan brahmabhuyaya kalpate. So only those who constantly engage, not even one moment. So then we may say, well, my work I am doing, how is that? Yeah, that is also, if you're giving all the results of your work, then your work is devotional service. Everything for Krishna, nothing for me. Or you're using it in Krishna's service, everything. Then, yeah, whatever you're doing is devotional service. It is a misconception of the impersonalists that one can worship any imaginary form of the Lord or Brahman and at the end merge into the Brahman effulgence. Of course, to merge into the bodily effulgence, Brahman of the Supreme Lord is also liberation, as explained in the previous verse. Ekatva is also liberation, but that sort of liberation is never accepted by any devotee. For qualitative oneness is immediately attained as soon as one is situated in devotional service. So we have oneness in interest, not oneness in losing our identity we never lose our identity. But for a devotee, that qualitative equality, which is the result of impersonal liberation, is already attained. He does not have to try for it separately. It is clearly stated here that simply by pure devotional service, one becomes qualitatively as good as Lord himself. So we become as good as the Lord by engaging in devotional service. Means we will also get Satchidananda Swarup like the Lord. And the Lord will treat us as equal also. We become as good as the Lord, like Krishna and Krishna's friends. They treat Krishna as equal, and Krishna also he likes that. So we become as qualitatively as good as the Lord himself. Okay, so any comments? It's 8:15. You can read Krishna book. Let's see, bookmark this. Okay. Okay, so when Satrajit came into Dwarka, everybody thought he was who?
Sun God.
Sun God himself has come into the city. So they went and told Krishna, and they addressed Krishna as Govinda, Damodar, like that. So I think so they were feeling great happiness that, demigods are coming to see Krishna in Dwarka. So they are feeling great happiness. So Krishna is so great that even the demigods like Sun God are coming to visit him. So they were very proud. Thus the citizens expressed their joy on the occasion. On hearing the statement of his citizens, the all-pervasive personality of God, Krishna simply smiled. Being pleased with the citizens of Dwarka, Krishna informed them that the persons that described as the sun god was actually King Satrajit, who had come to visit Dwarka city to show his opulence in the form of the valuable jewel obtained from sun god. So Krishna knew, so he told them, no, that is not sun god, it is King Satrajit. Satrajit, however, did not come to see Krishna. He was instead overwhelmed by the Shyamantaka jewel. I think we read this. Because this jewel was giving lots of gold every day. So he became very attached to this jewel. And when Krishna asked for it, he did not want to give it. So when we are attached to our wealth, if Krishna asks, give me, then we say, no, I will not give. Because my wealth, I am very attached to my wealth. The Shyamantaka jewel was so powerful that daily it produced a large quantity of gold. A quantity of gold is counted by measurement, okay. Like Krishna asked that washerman, give me this. He says, no, I will not give. So Krishna is demanding, you give everything to me. But I'm saying, I'm not giving. Then Krishna says, those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. We read that in Bhagavad Gita. So they don't want to part with the hard work, with the results of their hard work for Krishna's pleasure. They want to enjoy themselves. Because by parting with the results of our work for Krishna, we will actually experience more pleasure. Krishna will give us his bhakti. But when we want to keep things for ourselves, like Kubja, right? She gave the chandan and everything, and she Sudama gave. So when we give to Krishna, we actually gain. It's actually belonging to him. Anyway, we are not going to keep anything with us. So we should give everything. We need something for our sustenance, and that also we are living, so our life should also be service to Krishna. Yeah, we would like to, some verses there.
Next, this verse Narad Muni says to Nalkuvera Manigrava. Among all the attractions of material enjoyment, the attraction of riches bewilders one's intelligence more than having beautiful bodily features, taking birth in an aristocratic family, and being learned. When one is uneducated but falsely puffed up by wealth, the result is that one engages wealth in enjoying wine, women, and gambling. So that's what happens if you accumulate wealth, keep on accumulating in a greedy manner, then that is more intoxicating than any other kind of other things, and it will bewilder you and you will get into sinful activities. That's what happened with Nalkuvera and Manigrava. They were enjoying so much wealth of their parent, right, Kuvera.
Yeah, then you think of, I should go on a cruise, I will enjoy like this. You have a lot of money, so what money is not good in the bank. So money, everybody wants money because they want to enjoy in this world. So, so there can be even pious enjoyment is also bad, because that money could be used for Krishna's service. So instead of that, you spend it for all the sense gratification in this world. So like that. We have to build nice house for Krishna, and then we can live in that house and be like a enjoyer, a secondary enjoyer, but primary enjoyer is Krishna. So like that. So among all the attractions, the attraction of riches bewilders.
Yeah. And we have seen, some devotees like Ambarish Prabhu is so rich, right, from the Henry Ford family. He's using all his wealth in service of Krishna. So one verse, special mercy verse is Yasyam Anugranami Arishyata Dhanam Shanay, that, Krishna pulls away everything. right? And you're left with nothing. That is Krishna's mercy. And there is another special mercy verse which says that if a human being is born in an aristocratic family or higher status of life, if he performs wonderful activities, if he is youthful, if he has personal beauty, good education, good wealth, and if he is nonetheless not proud of his opulences, it is to be understood that he is especially favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, I mean, those devotees who use all their wealth and everything they have and they're not proud of anything, then that's special mercy.
Nice.
Because they are a kinchana also. A kinchana means not that he's poor, but he doesn't think that anything is mine, and he uses everything that he has in service of Krishna.
Yeah, that's like having everything, but it's given to me by Krishna. It belongs to Krishna. So that's why I'm proud. I have done it. I have accumulated the wealth. No, no, Krishna has given it to you. Like that. Yeah. Krishna has given me this education, memory, and beauty, and whatever. So, and that's why I should use it for Krishna. Brahmana, they say, as generally they stay poor because they use everything. They depend on Krishna. And Parikshit Maharaj was also told wherever gold is hoarded, he, he said to Kali, you can go where gold is hoarded. So where gold is hoarded, then it will result in sinful activities and attachment to the wealth and all these things. And that bandhan will create like, false sense of security that yeah, my money will protect me. And nothing will protect. Money will not protect. Of course, we need some money, but to think that money is going to protect me, then all the rich people would not die. But if I use that money in Krishna's service, I did something for the benefit of others. I helped the preaching. Prana artha dhiya vacha. That's Krishna is saying that one should use for others' welfare. I am helping others come to Krishna consciousness. Then that is my credit. Otherwise, all the money will stay here, and okay, my generations will use it, but you may become a cockroach or something like that. Then what is the use? All the, and your generations also, if they are not Krishna conscious, many people leave behind big inheritance for their children and like that. But if the children are not devotees, and then what is the point of giving all this money? They will not use it properly, and they will use it for sense enjoyment. And you are thinking, yeah, it's my child, my child. So attached to the child. So all nobody's your child, really. Nobody's your father, nobody's your mother. We are all come for some time. But that's why this family entanglement is so strong that one will sacrifice everything for one's family, but not for Krishna, for Krishna's service. So that's why in Varnashram at some point you said, yes, I will see the whole world as my family and I'll work for the welfare of everyone. Otherwise, this false attachment and bonding goes on till the end of very fag end of life. And that's why it says that one who dies without the knowledge of family members. Because this attachment is so strong that you think on the bodily platform. So, so that is how.
So yesterday we were reading the Sadhu Sangha Ashtakam, right, where we were saying that attachment to pure devotees is a path to liberation. And if the pure devotee is a family member, then, I mean, does that case applies to that as well?
Yeah, in some, there is like Kunti Devi says like that, even though Pandavas are pure devotees, but she says, even because there is always this bodily conception of life is very strong in the material consciousness. Uh, so so that's why in the Varnashram it is said like you have to, at the end of life one has to completely You're saying, yeah, in a family there is a pure devotee. Yeah, then if he's a pure devotee, then he will also follow the, to show by example how to become detached from, because there is an element, it's a mixed, sometimes it's a mixed thing. There is attachment on the spiritual platform and there is also attachment on the bodily platform. So it's a mixed bag. It is not, if it is solely on the spiritual platform, that's thing, but still, you are thinking this person is mine, so giving up that conception that this is mine. If you're not attached, that's okay, but yeah, it's a good question. But at some point one has to just be attached to Krishna. And the pure devotees who are not in relation, there are other pure devotees who are not in bodily relation. So, because there is also an element of bodily relation in family affairs, and the feeling that this is mine. Of course, you may think that outside bodily relation also you can feel like that, but that is not as strong as. That's why Bhagavatam says like that one should.
Yeah, but Krishna also says service to devotees is better than serving me. So if somebody is a devotee and if we are helping them with their service to Krishna, sacrificing for them, then yeah, unconditionally without asking anything in return for our sense gratification.
But yeah, that is there. I mean, family member can be devotee and we are serving them, but then outside the family also there are other devotees, right? There are many devotees who are, so it is not that we have to only serve, like Kardam Muni. We can take the example of Kardam Muni, right? His son was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but then he, at some point, he said, yeah, I will go to the forest to show as an example for the others, because others are seeing, yeah, that you are still attached to. So where is the varnashram then coming? Vanaprastha and sannyas. Where is that coming? You know. So
Yeah, but it's also not prescribed to leave. You can be in a temple setup and
yeah, means without any bodily attachment, and both are serving Krishna, husband and wife, without any bodily relationships. In Vanaprastha there is no bodily relationship, and they're just serving for the, and yeah, for of course the women has to be protected by the children when the husband goes for vanaprastha or he leaves the home and goes in some holy place and just like that. Um, but for the man, I'm saying, yeah, it's like it is. Prabhupada would write like that in many purports. He's saying that, yeah, one should, because this goes on till the very end. Then you think this is my family, and then Prabhupada says also, if a man thinks of his wife at the time of death, then he gets a female body, and the wife thinks of the man. Of course, if they are pure devotees, then that's a different thing. That okay, if they are
yeah,
pure.
Prabhupada says that a wife should serve the husband, husband should be a pure devotee, and if wife is attached to the husband, she goes to the same place as the
Then the
husband.
husband goes, correct. Yeah, that is true. But at some point in varnashram, according to the husband leaves also the home, and then the wife is under the care of the children. So, or in Vanaprastha, there are two ways Vanaprastha is described. Either the husband and wife go together without any attachment and they serve Krishna, and then slowly the husband just goes and takes sannyas. Means he just goes and just severs all relationships. And or the second is, yeah, the wife stays at home, husband goes for some time, then he comes back, then he goes away, then he comes back, like that. And then one day he goes, because there is still attachment, so he's going and it's like we have Kutichak, Bahudak, like that. So first he's inside his village, he has built a cottage on the outskirts, but he's still getting his needs from his home. But then he thinks, why should I depend on this? Like Raghunath Das Goswami is thinking, why I should depend on somebody giving me something? I will just So he goes a little bit the Madhukari, that is Bahudak. Then Parivrajak. Then he travels everywhere and depends on Krishna. And then Paramhamsa is like, so that's how traditionally Vedic civilization. How much we can apply in this age, I don't know. But traditionally it was like that. So anyhow, so after this incident, Satrajit's younger brother, in order, okay, it's 8:30. We'll stop here. So Krishna asked, "Give me the jewel," and Satrajit did not give. So we'll continue from here. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll continue.